Today at Home with Miss Joan, y'all, we are going to can some green peppers. Look at here. I grew up calling them bell peppers, okay? It's really, really easy. Now, we will be pressure canning these because this is a very low acid food. I'm going to show you just how easy it is to do it. I'm choosing to put mine in the little half pint jars. So I thought I'd do a couple for you before I do all the others to save time. Let me cut them up first. What I'm going to try to do is make them a little bigger. Let me show you. That's about the width of my thumb. You see it? And probably the height of the jar. So I'm just going to try to get them down in here up to about the 1 inch headspace. Now, in my experience, if you cut them off in little chunks, like you'd want to dice them to use them in your food that you're making, then it's mushy, okay? So this will get us a better product. So I'm going to use that one as a pattern. It's making me a pattern just like I was sewing. Anyway, I just cut all the way around my bell pepper. You see, hear me call it bell pepper? My green pepper. Look at there, all the seeds in that. Y'all ever use the seeds to plant you some more? Oh, you can save your seeds and use them next year. Now, down in here. I'm going to pack them as tight as I can get them, okay? And you say, well, Miss Joan, why are you doing such a small jar? Well, if you think about it, you want to get it out for a recipe, you're not going to use any more than this little amount right here, or I'm not going to. So that's why I'm using a smaller jar. But no, you don't have to. Do it just like that right there. It's nothing to it, is it? Don't be afraid to use your pressure canner. I do get out this, I don't know if you call that a membrane, I don't know what you call that, but I do get that out, where it's all just the green pepper. Now these will shrink up a little bit, so don't be alarmed about that if they do. You say, well, Miss Joan, why in the world don't you just freeze them? I do freeze them. I freeze them all the time. I mean, we got a lot frozen. But there's just so much room that I can give to bell peppers or green peppers in my freezer. So it's a whole lot easier if I just pressure can them and have them on my shelf. Or just go in there and get them. Now, what you going to use them for, Miss Joan? Well, let's think about it. You could put them on pizza. You could put them in a stir fry. You could put them in your meatloaf. We always try to put some in our meatloaf. Soups and stews, omelets. I made me some notes over here because I knew y'all would be thinking, now what is she going to put them in? Now look at there at all the ideas that I've already given you. All right. See how full we got this and packed? Now I'll use all these little scraps. I'll use all of them fresh. Keep them in my refrigerator and I'll use them. Oh man, y'all already know what I'm going to say next. We don't waste anything around here, do we? All right, remember, it's about the width of my thumb, and I'm cramming another one in. That looks like a full jar right there, doesn't it? Full jar. Now, you say, well, Miss Joan, what do you do now? I'm telling you what's the truth. It is so easy. Now, I could have put this in first, but I didn't, so I'm going to put it in second. This is pickle crisp, okay? And I'm going to put a half a teaspoon of pickle crisp in here. I'm going to put a half a teaspoon of non-iodized salt, okay? Now, let me be clear. You don't have to put salt in your stuff. Some of you really don't like putting salt in anything. It has nothing to do with the preservation. It's just my preference. I like to put just a little bit of salt, okay? And this was a half a teaspoon. So from that, I had some really good clean jars always. And then I'm just going to pour water on top of this. Now the heat from the pressure canner, I'm just going to show you. These pickling crisp, they're granules. See them? Little balls, little tiny balls. Okay. They will disintegrate, dissolve, when the pressure canner gets hot, okay? I'm just going to use a plastic knife for my debubbler, okay? I think sometimes it gets down in the sides and gets the bubbles out better than my one that's really called a debubbler. I'll show it to you because it's a little thicker. So I like something thin like this. Now see, it's letting me know I might have that one overpacked. We don't want that. But just shaking it around and getting the bubbles out. Okay? Now I can see it can hold just a tad more water. This is just room temperature water, okay? I've got room temperature jars. I got room temperature peppers. I got my canner. It's just sitting here cold, okay? It'll all heat up together, all right? After we got it debubbled, thanks to the preacher who's filming for me today, he reminded me that I've got to clean my jar top. I had it sitting out here in front of him, but just went right by it. I'm dipping my paper towel in the vinegar. I'm going all the way around the jar, because you know we did put salt in there, them granules. Alrighty, now it's good and clean. We'll go after one of my lids. I do heat them, whether it's a hot product or a cold product. I always heat these. Feel like it gets that rubber ready to get real soft so it'll seal good. So I'm putting that on there. And then I'm getting my ring. Okay. Finger tight. Just do it finger tight. Now some of these rings that you can use over and over, they're looking a little spotty, see, because that's just how water does them sometimes. All right, there it is, isn't he pretty? I'm gonna put him over here in my canner. And I have got 3 quarts of water in my pressure canner. I've got there's a lot of times I forget to show y'all this thing. I've got one of these that keeps the jars from hitting the bottom of the boiler canner. Just puts them up in the air a little bit. Pads it. If you don't have that, you can make you one out of the jar rings. But anyway, that's one. And since I got another jar sitting here, we'll just do another one, okay? But you saw how easy the process is. I'm cutting off my bell peppers, my green peppers. I'm trying to cut this way so I get around that membrane and I get around those seeds that way, to me. So gonna cut it about the thickness of my thumb. And then I'm going to put them in the jar. Now we can put our granules and our salt in the bottom. You can go either way with it. It's not going to make a difference because we're going to stir it all up together anyway. They're kind of thicker, like I said, because we want them to come out not mushy. And I just kind of lay them and stack them in there like he's putting pickles in a jar or something. Hey, this right here is so easy. I hope I'm showing you just how easy it is. Have you some clean peppers. And cut them about the width of your thumb and cut them the depth of your jar and stack them in there. Alrighty, I think I've got that one full. Now y'all tell me what we're gonna do next. Well, Miss Joan, we can't talk to you. Okay, this is a 1/2 inch measuring spoon, so I'm putting pickle crisp is what this is called. This brand calls it pickle fresh granules, but it's called pickle crisp. A lot of people put this in their pickles. It's kind of makes them stay a little crispier. And then here is my salt. Doesn't have iodine in it. 1/2 teaspoon. Okay. And then I'm pouring water in there. I want to cover my green peppers, but I want to get up here to at least the 1 inch headspace. Y'all know that I've told you before that bottom ring is 1 inch. As you go up, the next ring as you spin around is a 1/2 inch. That's how you can measure it without having to have anything particular measuring stick. All right. I'm going to try not to forget to debubble. You want the heat of the pressure canner to get right here in the middle of this jar. That's why you want to do all this debubbling and get all that extra air out of there. That looks good. And now I'm going to move to a different area of my paper towel because I'm going to take a little more vinegar and wipe this jar. These are going to be so handy, so when I'm going to make a meatloaf, I'll just go in there and get me some, and I'll just cut them up a little bit the size that I want them to be. Okie doke. Get a ring. I mean a lid and a ring. There we go. Don't do it real tight. Remember, it's called finger tight. You see me, watch me go back. Barely close it. There they are. Look how pretty. Okay, now I'm going to keep doing the rest of these, and then I'll get back to you when it's time to start up the pressure canner. I had some real fresh, the yellow and the red, so I'm going to make me a jar of the multicolors. Won't that be good to just whip these out? If you look on At Home with Miss Joan, I've got a recipe called Aussie chicken. Has these in it. Well, a lot of my recipes do. Boy, I just whip this out, throw them on my Aussie chicken, I'll be ready to cook. So anyway, this is just going to be what I'm calling a multi-jar. Okay, y'all, we got all of our peppers in the canner here, and you saw where, oh, isn't that pretty? We made a multicolored jar with yellow, red, and green. Anyway, those 7 big peppers yielded me 10 half pints. And notice when you look down in here, well, Miss Joan, I counted them, there's 12 down in here. Well, what I did was, I put a jar of water in here just so my jars wouldn't rattle around so. So I actually have 10 full of my product. This is my peppers. Then I got 2 little jars of water that I'm just canning along with them so they won't rattle. Okay, that's just one of my tricks. 3 quarts of water in this canner and a splash of vinegar. And then everything's cold. I've turned my stove on just now. Always check out your lid. Make sure the little slot button goes up and down. Look at your gauge here. And then peek through this hole. Make sure that it's not stopped up. And it's not. I can see through it clearly. All right. Now, all I got to do now is line up the top. Here, but it's not closed yet, but it did go down in the right spot. Then I turn it like that. Now, I'm going to turn my stove up. I am going to wait until this canner, it's going to rise, see, from just nothing. It wasn't warm at all. It's going to rise up in temperature. Steam's going to start coming out here. You want it to come out, you know, where you can see it's pretty strong. And when you see that, you let it run for 10 minutes. That's called venting, okay? We've talked about that. You know I've got a video for you to look at if you're new at canning. Pressure canning for beginners. Okay, we're going to wait right now for the heat to build, the pressure to build, and let the steam come out right here. And when it does, I'm going to, where I live, it's 10 pounds of pressure, okay? You'll have to check the altitude where you live. And then this canner here come with a 15 pound. All right, I bought me a separate 10 pound because that's what I'm always canning on, okay? It's each little ring is 5, 10, and I got another little ring if I wanted 15, but I don't. But this comes with these Presto canners, and it don't break apart, so it's 15. So if you got one of these kind, you got to watch your gauge here, really, your poundage really close, you see, because it could go on up to 15, and I don't want that. So I don't use this. I use my 10 pound. Okay, right now we're just going to wait around and let the pressure come up. Y'all can see how easy this was. See here? I don't know if you can see it, but there you go. Look at there behind that front of that black lid. See how vigorous it's coming out? All right, I'm going to let that go for 10 minutes, then I'm going to put my 10 pound weight on it. Okay, y'all, Preacher's run off and left me. He was filming, so I'm trying to film and talk to you. But you see that my lock button's come up right here. My steam has been going for 10 minutes. It's time for me to put on my 10 pound weight. There it goes. Now, I'm going to adjust my heat. And what you'll do now is you'll wait for this gauge, I will, to come up to 10 pounds. Right now it's just a little above 0. It'll start climbing. When it gets to 10, that's when I'll start my clock on 30 minutes, because that's how long these half pints of peppers are going to can. It's 30 minutes, and if you was doing a pint, it'd be 30 minutes too, okay? Pints and under, pressure cans 30 minutes this way. See there? I'm on 10 pounds, looks like 11, and look how that thing's rocking right there. It's telling me, hey, Miss Joan, you have hit the 10 pounds. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to adjust my stove. I bring it down. Don't bring it down real fast now, okay? You just got to watch this jiggler. It's going too fast right now. So that's why I've turned my heat down, because I just want it to kind of rock, but I don't want it to just do a vigorous dance, okay? Now that it's hit the 10 pounds, though, I get to set my clock for 30 minutes. Then I'll get back to you when this thing runs 30 minutes, and we'll let them cool down. I'll show them to you. Okay, y'all, it pressure canned for 30 minutes, and then I let it sit here and cool down. You know, you don't never want to take your top off prematurely. And then get to pull them out now. Look at there. Oh, so I don't want to turn it sideways. It's still hot. Oh, let me find one of them pretty colored ones, see how they did. Oh, look at that. How pretty. Now, I told y'all they were going to shrink down just a little bit, didn't I? Oh, and I wanted to say this too. Remember, I just kept saying put a little pickle crisp in there, and you might not find a certain brand name, but I wanted to make sure that you knew you're looking for calcium chloride. So if you get another product name and it says calcium chloride, you've got the right thing. Now, you don't have to use this. It's just a lot of people do use it that's doing anything they want it to be just a little bit more crunchy. These turned out great. There's my water. I thought, whoa, where did the peppers go? Now, if you don't have a pressure canner, you can. There's another one of water. There's another recipe that we can use sometime, but it's more like pickling your peppers, okay? But these weren't pickled. They're just straight pressure cans. You saw that with the salt and the pickle fresh in it and water. Okay. Woo-wee. Now what I'll do now is, now you can see they did shrink down a little bit, got a little water in the bottom, and then when they cool down, they'll relax a little bit too and fill up a little more of the jar. But what I'll do is, I always do this, is I cover them up because that's how my mama done her canning. I cover them up and I'm going to let them just naturally cool down. In the morning I'm going to come in here, I'm going to wash them off, I'm going to make sure they're all sealed. You know that by pushing down, which right now, they're sealed. But anyway, in the morning I'll check them all. I'll take all the rings off. Some people call it the bands. I'll put the date on here of when I canned it and make sure that all the jars are clean. And then I'll take them and put them in my pantry, and I'll have this, I told you earlier, for soups and stews and meatloaf and stir fry and put on homemade pizza and just whatever you want to have some colored or green peppers for. You've got it right there on your shelf. Just reach and get it. That's why I love canning, whether it's water bath canning or pressure canning. I love it. All right. We did all this today, and I want to thank Preacher for helping me at Home with Miss Joan. At Home with Miss Joan, would you like? You know, whether you like it or not, okay? At Home with Miss Joan, please subscribe. Sure does help this old girl's channel grow. Won't you share with friends and family? You know, like your mom and them, okay? Comment right here and you'll hear back from me. You know, Preacher will get back with you, my daughter, me, somebody will right here from At Home with Miss Joan. Woo! Y'all check these videos out, okay?